I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
This weekend, Disney looks to continue their endless winning streak of live-action remakes of their animated classics, as Emma Watson stars in the retelling of the tale as old as time, Beauty and the Beast. And seeing as the original movie got nominated for Best Picture and defined the Walt Disney Renaissance of the 1990s, the expectations are a little bit high for this remake. As for me, well, after sitting through Beastly last year, I'm gonna guess that Disney will do this story far more justice themselves, because when Disney doesn't remake their classic fairy tales, you might get movies like 1996's fantastical flop, The Adventures of Pinocchio. Yes, this flick is not technically a remake of Disney's classic 1940 adaptation of the novel by Carlo Collodi, but New Line Cinema certainly had to be aware of that film's existence when they decided to make their own adaptation. From Steve Barron, the director of the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and starring Jonathan Taylor Thomas as the voice and face of the puppet-turned-boy. Oh great, another member of the Home Improvement cast for me to focus on. Yippee! This was a flick that I distinctly remember seeing in the theater as a kid, as well as owning the VHS tape with that cool-as-hell lenticular cover art. So even though it got ripped by critics and bombed at the box office, I'm willing to see if it lives up to my fond childhood memories. Hey, I will give it this much. At least this Pinocchio is played by an actual little boy, and not a 50-year-old Italian man. That right there instantly makes this movie far less child molestery. Advantage, Simba. First off, one of the big differences in this version is the absence of the Blue Fairy, who brings Pinocchio to life, probably because she's busy helping out Haley Joel Osment in AI. So in this version, Pinocchio is brought to life when the young Italian woodcutter Geppetto carves a heart into a pine tree to commemorate his secret love for his brother's wife. One night, a magic bolt of lightning strikes the tree, and a log falls off it and lands at the feet of the now elderly Geppetto, played by Martin Landau, who decides to carve a puppet out of the log that will join Geppetto's self-made family of marionettes.
Now what shall we call you, dear child? You're made of pine. You have beautiful eyes. Occhi magnifico. We'll call you Pinocchio. Pull the string! Pull the string!
But soon afterwards, that magic lightning brings Pinocchio to life and gives him the voice of Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And Geppetto is both shocked and delighted to see his puppet come to life.
You can't be real. You're a puppet.
Puppet. Papa.
No, I'm not your papa.
You are not the father.
And as Geppetto tries managing his new wooden son, Pinocchio soon develops a longing to become a real boy, and captures the eye of the evil puppet theater manager Lorenzini, played by Udo Kier, as well as his two sniveling henchmen, played by B.B. Newirth and ROB Schneider.
Oh, Jesus, God, no.
Geppetto tries to prevent Lorenzini from buying his living puppet, when Pinocchio wanders off and wreaks some havoc in a bakery, which gets Geppetto arrested and forces him to concede custody of his wooden boy to the wicked Lorenzini, who makes Pinocchio the star attraction of his puppet show.
I love being a star.
Of course you do. All real boys love being stars.
Well, that's true, Pinocchio, and much like any good child star, you're gonna grow up to get arrested for buying crack and do a weird-ass dance number on the Today Show. Speaking of Pinocchio, he was created for this movie by the masters at Jim Henson's Creature Shop, and the effects on him are pretty damn impressive. But on the other hand, they also look really fucking creepy. Hell, I think this Pinocchio is creepier than the one from that Pinocchio horror movie they released the same year as this one. And he's assisted here not by Jiminy Cricket, but by a wisecracking cricket named Pepe, voiced by the guy who voiced Grandpa on Rugrats, even though in the trailer for this movie, he was originally voiced by Wallace Shawn.
You just gotta wise up, Pinecone. You're a puppet.
I'll be your best friend, Pinecone. I'll open your eyes.
And the effects on him are a close tie with Mortal Kombat Annihilation as some of the worst CGI I've seen in a theatrical movie. His fucking eyes are crooked, and they can't even sync his mouth up with the dialogue.
You ignored your instincts, didn't you?
Maybe.
So it's kind of a creepy horror show watching these two go through the classic trials and tribulations of the Pinocchio story, as Pinocchio escapes from the evil puppet master, gets trapped in an evil funfair with some fellow orphan children, almost gets turned into a donkey when he drinks some magic water, and finally reunites with Geppetto when the two of them are swallowed by a whale. By the way, the whale in this version is actually the Udo Kier character transformed into a whale when he gets dunked in the magic water, and his transformation scene is almost as nightmare-inducing as the one in the Disney version. Oh, don't worry though. The actual donkey transformation in this version is still pretty scary. Oh my god, that poor kid got turned into Ron Perlman! I will admit, however, that this flick has some genuine merits. For one thing, the production and costume design is top-notch, and had it been used for a better movie than this one, you might have had something special. Plus, Martin Landau makes a pretty good Geppetto. Far better than Drew Carey, that's for damn sure. And Udo Kier always makes for a memorably creepy villain. But the movie as a whole is way too tonally confused and off-putting to make a genuine connection with. And the only reason I had fun with it was because of the childhood memories it brought back up for me. For those of you who don't share my sense of nostalgia, it's a fascinating disaster, but fails big time as a legitimate movie. So you may want to wait until Disney inevitably gets around to making their own live-action Pinocchio remake. As for me, I'm personally waiting for Disney to give us that remake of Song of the South. When you drink upon a bar, make sure you don't drive a car. Now it's time for the awfully good drinking game. Take a shot or drink every time Pinocchio tells another lie and makes his nose grow.
Now, you're not lying to me by any slim chance, are you?
There are two kinds of lies. Lies that have short legs, and lies that have a long nose.
Oh, and don't forget about the third category of lies, otherwise known as alternative facts. Political jokes, boy! You hear Pinocchio attempt to laugh. I'm pretty sure I've just heard the sound that will haunt my sleep for the next, 3 months or so. You hear the two henchmen make animal noises. You see, this is because their characters in the original Pinocchio were a fox and a cat. And these two characters get their comeuppance at the end when they're magically turned into a fox and a cat.
Don't you just hate that kid?
Not as much as I hate you.
Rob Schneider is the man who got turned into a fox. Rated derp-a-doo. And take a double shot not just when Pinocchio's leg gets pissed on by a dog. What an appropriate metaphor for this movie. But for the 2 times Lorenzini eats chili peppers and breathes fire.
Stand by for fireworks.
Now, I call bullshit on this, because when I eat chili peppers, the fire doesn't come out of my mouth, it comes out of my ass. But I guess that's too much for a G-rated movie.
Stand by for fireworks.
And on the nudie watch, not only does this kid's movie get away with a shocking amount of heaving cleavage shots, but Pinocchio turns out to be a horny little perv after he gets turned into a real boy.
How about carving me a girlfriend?
Peter boy, 2 minutes already, you're thinking about girls?
Okay, first off, there are websites for that sort of thing, Pinocchio. And secondly, I'm pretty sure Geppetto didn't carve you a penis.
This man has no dick.
On the enjoyableness continuum scale from Bull to Bruce, The Adventures of Pinocchio has got no strings to hold it down, but may make you fret, and will definitely make you frown, and grows its nose to a length of 6 out of 10. And before you ask me if I watch a sequel to this movie, I think Martin Landau can give you my answer to that question.
Fuck you! Bullshit!
I'm Jesse Shane for JoBlo.com, and I just realized, when Disney does inevitably make a Pinocchio remake, I'm probably gonna have to finally watch that Roberto Benigni Pinocchio movie to tie a review into it. You know what? Maybe I want to take a look at that Pinocchio sequel after all. And is that Udo Kier dressed in drag as a woman?
Will wonders never cease?
Well, that's more than enough nightmare fuel for me for the next few years. See you next time.
JoBlo!